Hello, welcome to today's vlog.
Today is April 25th, 2020. We are looking at our reflections from Prayer Recollection with Luke 23, 26 through 43. Ready? Yeah.
Yes.
As they led Jesus away, a man named Simon, who was from Cyrene, happened to be coming in from the countryside. The soldiers seized him and put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. A large crowd trailed behind, including many grief-stricken women. But Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For the days are coming when they will say, 'Fortunate indeed are the women who are childless, the wombs who have not borne a child, and the breasts who have never nursed.' People will beg the mountains, 'Fall on us.' They will plead with the hills, 'Bury us.' For if these things are done when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?" Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross, and the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." And the soldiers gambled for his clothing by throwing dice. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. "He saved others," they said. "Let him save himself if he really is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers mocked him too, by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, "If you're the king of the Jews, save yourself." A sign was fastened above him with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself, and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, Don't you fear God, even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything. Then he said, anything wrong. Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise."
That's so sweet.
I love that. I love that.
You'll never guess what we have on the wall today. We have it every day. We moved it while we were reflecting on the prayer recollection, so we could look at it, because we can't see it. Sitting in this chair, you can't see it. It's behind you. And then we were like, gotta get it back for the vlog. So now we have it back. This one is sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't died yet, technically.
He's still alive, but it ain't pretty.
Let's talk about fortunate are the women who are childless. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Go ahead.
You tell me what you think.
Well, so I think this is talking about probably the time when Jerusalem is taken over and they destroy the temple.
Or at least when they're being persecuted.
Yeah, when they're being persecuted, that kind of time. And it's saying basically, if you have children, you have more ties in this earth, you're more attached, and you have more things to care about. Even if they're not young.
And they care about you.
Yeah, and they care about you.
Before he said poor women with newborn babies.
Right.
And now he's saying poor women who have ever had babies at all.
Right, it's a little different. Because times are going to be so horrible. You know, it's one thing.
You feel so terrible for your kids. Even if you give yourself up, you have to watch your kids suffering.
Yeah.
Or leave your kids behind sometimes. And that is really bad, not good.
That'd be so bad. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I don't know, I kind of wondered, why did he even tell them that? Like, what does that benefit? And the best thing I could think about that was that maybe it helps them so that they won't want to turn away from him when that time comes, that they'll be like, oh yeah, he told us this was going to happen.
I think he's forewarning them. He's like, you think me dying bad? This is not even going to be the worst of it. There's a lot worse coming for you.
Yeah, right. And I want to talk a little bit about Simon, who carried his cross. It says that he was made to carry it behind Jesus. So that means that he watched Jesus walk or stumble all the way to the site of the crucifixion.
I thought he had to carry his own cross.
Because they whipped him.
I thought he had to carry his
I think another gospel does say that he carried his own cross for a while, but then I think he collapsed and they couldn't make him carry it anymore, and that's when they got Simon.
own. Oh, poor Simon.
And yeah, and I'll bet that's what Simon was saying
I wonder
too.
if he was a Christian.
Well, there were no Christians yet.
I wonder if he was a Jew.
So,
Wait, you think that was what Simon was saying? Simon didn't say anything.
I think he was thinking poor Simon, probably.
Simon was thinking poor Simon?
Yeah, he probably felt like, how did I get nabbed to do this terrible job? Anyone else here could have done this? I don't know. Maybe. I think a lot of people in Jerusalem were Jews.
Jerusalem. That's why they call it that.
Jerusalem. So, I don't think that he would have any idea of the amazing... Sorry, we're having a little phone problem
Okay,
here.
you're breaking my knee.
Okay, get your knee good.
Okay.
Are we good? I don't think he would have had any idea. So here he's walking behind Jesus and watching Jesus stumbling and getting ready to be nailed to the cross. Like, he would have no idea how monumental this is. It's so huge.
Well, he was there killing Jesus.
But did he know about Jesus?
Probably.
He might have
A lot
known.
of
A lot of people
people
knew
knew.
about Jesus. That's true.
Yeah.
Herod knew a lot about Jesus,
Yeah,
apparently.
he was like doing miracles, bro.
Right? And I really like the part about the women. Well, I don't like it, but I think it's interesting that they talk about the women weeping because, you know, we read a little bit about them earlier in Luke and how they supported him in his ministry. A lot of the wealthier women did. And they traveled with him and the disciples, and they took care of their needs. Like, I would assume that includes like accommodations.
This also might be something that women don't normally do.
Which is this?
Go into a crucifixion.
Oh, that could be. That could be. And I thought about that they might be a really grief-stricken because Jesus may have been the first person who ever recognized them as a real person.
But the grief-stricken thing isn't the surprising thing. I think the women,
being there.
the fact that they're women, I think the whole crowd is probably grief-stricken. But the women are they're like, also there were women.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what's intended to be this, like, the surprising thing.
I think that there's some significance to the fact that he validated women, though, who were normally treated like animals.
Right, that's why they're going to do something they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, that's why they were there. Right. And then you look at him saying, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing, and I think that...
There is a Toby Mac song with that lyric in it, and I think it's one that I am not 100% approving of the lyrics of.
Interesting. You have Toby Mac songs you don't approve of?
Yeah, I think it's the one about, oh, you losers on the couch.
Oh, I know about that one.
But he had someone else with him saying that.
How you been working when you asking where the couch at?
Don't sing that. Copyright claim. They'll demonetize us.
Well, I sang it wrong, though.
We're not making any money anyway.
How can you demonetize someone who's already
You can't,
not monetized?
They can't demonetize us. You can't demonetize us, YouTube.
We have no monetized.
We have no money. How are you gonna take money that doesn't exist?
So,
Anyway, what?
Well, I was just saying the
Oh,
Father...
it was another guy.
Forgive them.
Sorry, yeah, it was another guy in the song. It wasn't Toby Mac singing the lines.
It's just, I think that shows that Jesus had his heart in alignment with truth and with goodness, even through all of this. That he had his spirit, his connection with goodness had not been broken.
He was not mad at them. He was like, God, help those men.
And those guys who gambled for his clothing, I think when they got home and what do they do with those? They like hang them on their wall?
Where?
Like that, you would be seared with this like spiritual power, like not magical. I don't believe in magical, but I do believe that the Holy Spirit has power that could be very convicting if you had something like that you looked at.
We do believe in magical. Superhuman.
Yeah, that's true. Supernatural. That is true.
Can I make an aside about something unserious?
No.
I won't.
Save it for
Some other time.
takes.
I might tell you guys some other time.
And then they make a big deal about save yourself if you're the Messiah. Everyone just keeps saying that to him. You know, and I think
It's important that he didn't save himself.
Yeah. They thought he was losing himself. They didn't know he was saving them.
Yeah, well, he kind of was losing himself.
Yeah.
He had to be disconnected from God, and that's like his entire identity.
Yeah, that is a good point. And speaking of which, being disconnected with God, Anna and I were both a little taken aback at the end where he tells, well, we really like that story about the criminal who said, remember me when you come to your kingdom. But then when he says, I assure you today you'll be with me in paradise, we were both like, wait, I thought
he's not going to paradise.
Going to be separated from God. So we were hypothesizing about
So Martha, say what you think, and I'll say what I think.
Okay, so what I was thinking is that, well, we've been listening to C.S. Lewis. Well, we haven't really.
We love to. We listen to him in the car.
Yeah.
But now we can't go in the car because we don't drive. We don't know where to go.
And when we do drive,
it's me driving, and we don't listen to things while I'm driving because it's already dangerous.
Anna's trying to learn how to drive during quarantine time, which I'm
not trying to. They're trying to make me learn how to drive during. Yeah.
We drive like once a week.
Yeah.
So she drives for like 15 minutes a week.
Maybe more.
So, you know how dog years, like 7 dog years equals 1 human year? That's what Anna's learning to drive. Most kids take a year to learn to drive. She's going to take like 7.
Yeah.
That's when we listen to C.S. Lewis, but we can't listen when she's driving because
can't listen when I'm driving.
He's too deep,
He's too deep. You start thinking about C.S. Lewis and you stop thinking about the road.
We'd be in a wreck for sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
We should bring that in and listen inside. We should get it on Hoopla.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, C.S. Lewis was saying, tell him what C.S. Lewis said about...
Or we could put it into the computer and like play through the speakers or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, C.S. Lewis said we don't know if hell lasts at all, or if it's an eternity like heaven, because God never says that hell's an eternity. If it's an eternal thing, or if it's
like death,
like it doesn't even exist at all, kind of a thing. Like you experience it, but then like you're just gone.
Like you have the experience and then it's over, like death, and it calls it death. A lot of scriptures talk about it like death.
Yeah. So basically, we don't know what it's like at all. Okay.
So my theory was that maybe it's not like he stayed in hell for 3 days. Maybe because of the nature of hell, he just like touches there. Like when we die.
And then the next thing he knows, he's just rising again.
Yeah, rising again or whatever. Yeah. I guess that'd be what it's like. So anyway, that was my theory.
But I think that because he's going to eternity, he will be outside of time at that point, and Jesus will be there outside of time as well. Because Jesus is in heaven for eternity, even if he does go down to earth for a while.
When Jesus is in heaven in eternity, can he see himself on earth?
Yeah, I think he can.
So he can also experience himself in hell?
No.
The time that when he had his spiritual death?
I think he can see himself in hell. But I don't think he feels it again.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
That sermon we listened to from Megan Hurston said that God can feel the pain of the death of Jesus at the same time as seeing our sins. That it is always happening. He's there.
But it's different if it's someone else.
What do you mean?
Someone else? If God is not Jesus.
Oh.
Also, Megan Martian is not always right.
That's true.
We all have different interpretations.
That's
of the
true.
Bible.
And we're not always right.
And we're not always right.
In fact, we're usually probably mostly wrong. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
It's a journey, not a destination.
It's a journey, not... I think there are at least some right interpretations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
We're trying to at least...
We're on a journey.
We're on a journey to a destination.
Death. And union with God.
I don't know.
Hey, let's talk before we close about this. Cool, we're going to leave that conversation. Let's talk about this cool criminal.
Can I interrupt with something kind of similar to this?
Mhm.
Never mind. It's too
Okay.
unserious.
We'll save that for
I'll
the
tell you
outtakes.
after the video, Margaret.
Okay. The cool criminal. Let's talk about him.
Oh, I love him so much. Me and my younger sister are writing a story, and the guy gets, they're dragons. They're not people. And he shows up at the other dragon's place, and he's like, bro, hi, I'm here now. And because he's trying to save his friend who's in the other dragon palace, and they're like, okay, we'll put you downstairs in the dungeons to wait for the queen. And he gets down in the dungeon, and there's another dragon down there who is his cellmate, and his cellmate thinks he deserves to be in jail, and he's okay with being in jail.
Yeah.
Because I like that sentiment a lot.
Yeah.
I think if you do something bad, you should at least be willing to take the punishment.
Do you do that?
I don't know. But like, I stand. I like that sentiment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I do that. I feel like probably I don't. But it seems like a pretty solid way.
I want to be like that. Not. I mean, I know that Jesus has
Like, if
taken
you
our.
do something wrong, you're like, especially with the law. Like, if you don't think the law is fair and you break the law, you gotta be willing to take the law punishment. That's a Martin Luther King thing, and I like that.
That's
It's scary. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
It's really scary. But I think it's cool.
That is cool. That is cool. And I really like the way that he was aware of what he did wrong and that it was wrong, but at the same time he recognized the identity and the power of Jesus.
He was like, bro, this is Jesus that they're hanging.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Do you have no respect for God?
That's right. It's so good.
We like him. Yeah. We're fans.
We're fans.
We'll meet him someday.
We're gonna meet him. We're gonna meet you, dude.
Dude! I wonder what it's like.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll all be kind of the same. No, I think we'll keep our
We'll be different. We'll all be different. We'll
We'll
be who we
also
are.
meet Levi. Who's the one guy you wanted to meet? There's someone else you wanted to meet.
Which guy did I
From the
want?
Bible.
I know, but I want to meet a lot of people.
I don't know.
Dallas Willard.
Oh, no. Someone from the Bible. There's another guy in one of the other stories.
Gamaliel?
Gamaliel?
He was the guy who was like, if Jesus is real, then don't fight God. But if he's not real, he's just gonna fritter away and won't amount to anything.
It might be Gamaliel.
Was that his name? Anyway.
He's from Acts.
Yeah,
He's
he was
not
from
from
Acts.
Luke.
He's not in Luke.
No.
Anyway. Criminal. We're gonna meet you someday. Jesus.
Levi.
We are especially gonna meet you.
We're especially gonna meet you, Jesus.
Can't wait for that.
Can't wait for that.
We love you, Jesus.
We love you, Jesus.
Praise you.
Okay, bye.